This is just a small little chat about the tarot spread and the spirits of the nations and some of the things that has come through the Enochian magic. And one thing that has been very clear, that the magic is changing in the world right now. Like the old occult lodges and all those things where they have these exact correspondences, and they kept all this, that you must have this incense or that crystal and all that. That can't cage in the beast anymore, since there are so many people on this planet, more than ever before. And when the more people get connected to their soul, the more there will be powers, and they can't control that. So there is a shift going on. And I think that is why I have to make sometimes these little bit weird videos that I know don't really follow anything, but it is just that I get the information that things are changing, and we got to try new ways, learn by the old, but create new ways of doing things, and that is maybe the most important thing in the things. And if you look at the angels of the nations that I called, evoked, and been trying out, of course, there is the reason why you call on an angel, and I just called on them as I am as a person, what needs to be healed in that country. I didn't call upon them to suppress or bind a country or something like that. So there are occultists doing that things as well, but I just had the questions, what needs to heal in the past and the present, and I love studying history. And what are the worst opponents? That can be belief systems or other things, governments, and where are the hidden enemies that can be everywhere in one sense. And then there's the question, what can we do with humanitarian? Can we do something trying to get new laws, new ways of education, support? And what are the philosophical and spiritual issues of the country? And then I asked this way, new ways to inspire and create, or get young people to get inspired and create. And that's where I need all of you who are younger than me, who can talk in the modern language more. And then the governments, each government throughout the world has an entity, and this is, well, what many think that the occultism is all about the elites doing, and they are quite good at doing that. And they are accusing each other and binding each other and that whole shebang. But but you can ask for angelical help there, since if you're not going to do evil towards the governments, the angels can be angry at them as well, but that's not up to you to decide. But you can start to feel where is the good, bad and the ugly, and you can get some sort of maybe a dream or a feeling that who are the next politicians or lawmakers that you can trust, and who are the unjust ones, since usually in politics they all lie, so that is a problem. And who are the worst deceivers to stay clear of. And if there is I just use this old word, the knights and kings, who are the best warriors to take that forward. That's where you put your intention, you ask the angels to help that person, and so on. And then with the people, or the refugees and all those who suffer, what do they need in healing, past, present and future? And that can be as a whole country. And trust, hope, future. that can go from one singular to the whole country as well. And protection from PC stands for political correctness, since that is an issue right now. With the cancel culture, if political criminals and the profiteers and enemies, since many people profit from war, and sometimes they can, let's say, use children or whatever to put there out, and then people get bored with seeing photos of empty baby carriages, and they think that this is a public relations stunt, and it's not. There is a real suffering, but people get closed off, so they don't really feel the connection anymore when they feed you too much. And don't give in to that political correctness that, oh, they were lying, and then they start to help something else. That is very usual in this country at least. And then they need the time and sovereignty. And don't ever overrun. Let's say Ukraine, they get back there. They have their own views and they have their own needs and how they want to change their country's future. That is up to them. You can't just walk in that, look at me, I gave you so much money, like some rich country, and then you must do it exactly as I tell you. That's been happening throughout history as well. And that's not always the best thing. And then there's the innovation and creativity, mix old and new and create. And I don't really know what they meant with a transformative education. So this is just my own ideas. Maybe you should have something to compare to, like old values of philosophy, let's say, before the modernism in the spirituality, let's say to 1600, and just look where did your country stand there, and then on that Islam and Judaism and Christianity, since they are active in Europe, they are very similar in the old ways, and in that case it is more solid than these new political philosophies that are modern right now. But that is a starting point to get value of something really old and start building layer upon that and create a tower of wisdom. And there is that people need a time to grieve, heal and rage and scream and whatever it is. And when it comes to people and you want to help them, let the people tell their story when they are ready, and that can take someone from 1 to 70 years. Usually the real who suffered the most trauma during a crisis, they are the most silent ones, so they won't tell you what happened. They can't go into that, the pain is too real. And then you have these that start to steal their stories and write books and make them more dramatic and running over the people who suffer, who haven't spoken out about their truth yet. And there are many profiteers who are already starting to do that. And after a story is out, even if it's written by somebody else and they want to make big money, then if there is a person who really went through that story, then they are accused of being the liars. So please be careful with that. And continuity in support, even for decades, is very important. Trauma lasts a lifetime. And that's something that I can see here. Every time there comes new refugees, it's politically correct that you help them for, let's say, 6 months. Then there comes something new. And then they don't know what happens in the past time. And my neighbors are from many different countries. And they can't get a job, they don't speak the language, they are going on language classes, they sit alone, they have no friends, they have no money, and some end up in crime. But the main thing is that they are good workers, they work hard, but then they came up with this bureaucratic rule that they must speak Swedish in order to clean a toilet. And there are all those things that you have to check out that they are okay. Every few years, if you can find out something up so that you know that they are still, so they don't change the coat after the window, how do you say that? And the dark night of the soul can be a safe holding tank where the soul is protected from more wounds. And so don't feel the dark night of the soul or the numbness that can come. And when people realize that they've been betrayed and indoctrinated, when the realization hits them, it's a horrific pain. And so don't hate the Russians if they just now start to realize that there's been a poor woman here who's from Russia and she's been threatened, and that's never okay. Just because she believed her parents and what they taught her, that doesn't make her a criminal. And the pain in her is real, so don't ever look over those things. And this was just as much rambling as it was yesterday. I'm sorry, I'm having my migraine, but I have it twice a month and I found it difficult to find words. But so have a magical day. Bye for now.